So good morning everyone, right? So in the last class I told you, today I will discuss, you will see how to earthquake occur. What are the effects of earthquake? What are the effects of earthquake? I told you in the last class itself. Better switch off other plants. And it is cumulative also. Cumulative operating certain plants you will switch off. Coming. Okay. So how often earthquake occur? How do we, why do you? Okay. Why do we study earthquake? These are the questions. You have to question yourself. Okay, then only you can find answer. You question yourself. Okay, ma? So listen. Right, how to expect occur? Do you have any idea? Now I cannot do it in interactive way because it's being recorded, so I have to tell you how to expect occur. Right? Do you have any idea how to expect occur? See, earlier a lot of myths and legends prevailed. In Tamil, okay? A lot of myths prevailed. Religious belief was there for earthquake. Okay? Earlier, every country they had their own religious belief. Okay? For the occurrence of earthquake. For example, if you want to see, just for before that, I want to say, okay. When one of the elements that carry the earth gets higher, Hindu belief. Likewise, Mongolian belief, African belief, just you go through. Just for fun, I have brought this one. Okay? These are their religious belief. Actually, engineering seismology is a young science. Lot of development took place after one important earthquake occurred. Okay? The developed community, people, the developed country, it happened. Okay, those people witnessed, they have seen the devastating effect of that earthquake. Thereafter, they started thinking more about it. Okay, thereafter, a lot of development took place. Do you know which is the most active fault in the world? Do you have any idea how you come across? The most active fault in the world. The most active fault in the world is known to be San Andreas fault, which is in North America. Okay, between Pacific Ocean and North America, the San Andreas fault is there, which is a transform boundary. Okay, actually they move past each other. This North American plate and Pacific plate moving past each other. It's a transform boundary. The San Andreas fault is the most active fault in the world because frequent tremor will be there in that. Okay, minor tremor. But what happened? Earlier there were a lot of religious belief. Well before that earthquake, there was a major earthquake occurred there. San Andreas fault. Okay, that earthquake is known as San Francisco earthquake of 1906. Okay, San Francisco earthquake of 1906. After that earthquake, the developed country, okay, because it's highly populated, a lot of Los Angeles is there, San Francisco is there, New York is there, all developed cities are nearby locality, Canada. In North America, no. They have witnessed the devastating effect of that earthquake. Thereafter, they have started thinking a lot on seismology. Okay, lot of development took place thereafter in seismology. That is why the seismology is a very young science. Okay, so we are going. I have to tell you in engineering point of view. You are not going to study seismology. You are going to study engineering seismology. Certain feature of that, I am going to elements of it. I am going to tell you. Okay. Actually, out of my personal, in my college, the college in which I am working was the undergraduate college. Okay, mainly we are focusing on undergraduate. That time there was no postgraduate program in structural engineering. We had only advanced construction technology postgraduate program that time. Okay, so what happened that time? Because just 3 years back or 4 years back only the structural engineering program was started. Although we didn't have postgraduate engineering in this college, out of my self-interest, I used to browse during 2000 to 2000, whatever material I am going to present here, all collected over a period of 10 years, from 2000 to 2010. Okay, so that much collection I have, which I have collected over a period of from 2000 to 2010, out of my interest which I had in earthquake engineering, because I already shared my experience. I have experienced earthquake thrice. That is why I collected them. Okay. While browsing the net, I came to know about the San Andreas fault. Okay, and moreover, another important authenticated information which is prevailing among the seismologists also came to know, which is the San Andreas fault released energy during 1906. When I was browsing during 2002-2003, it was 110 years, 101 year elapsed at that time. Now it is more than 115 years elapsed. Okay, 101 year elapsed at that time. Normally, any fault cannot store energy beyond 50 years or 60 years. It will release energy. In general, any fault, the accumulated strain energy accumulated over a period of time of RR in the 50 years range will be released. Okay, but in this fault, energy has not been released yet. 1906, San Francisco earthquake, it showed its devastating effect. Large huge energy was released. Thereafter, the accumulation keep on getting accumulated. The strain energy is getting accumulated. Still, the fault has not released such a same kind of energy yet. Okay, so there is a fear among the seismologists that in the event of, in case, if the San Andreas fault releases energy, nearly 50% of the world population is within the striking range of this fault line. Okay, either in the name of seismic waves or in the name of tsunami, the Pacific Ocean tsunami may be created, because in the Pacific Ocean there are so many subduction zones. Okay, if the subduction zone gets disrupted, that will create tsunamis. Normally, in the plate boundaries, the subduction zones are very more dangerous. There are so many subduction zones in the Pacific Ocean. Those will be get disturbed. So tsunami may be created. So it will affect a country like Japan, New Zealand, among the ring of fire. Okay, North America, South America, many developed countries. Nearly 50% of the world population is within the striking range of that major fault line. This true fact I came to know. I really because there is a fear among the seismologists. They are cautioning. Okay, so many people are never of it, right? So this I was teaching when I offered the elective for final year first time. Because I collected information out of my self-interest. Somewhere 2005 I offered this earthquake design subject as an elective for final year. That time I was telling whatever I told you, same information which I have gathered, which I have seen in the net, I was sharing with my student. Okay, nearly during 2005 or 6 at that time. Okay, but I see during 2015 there was a Hollywood movie. You might have heard, some of you, called San Andreas. That is a Hollywood movie. Name is San Andreas, the fault name, San Andreas. That movie is dubbed in almost all languages of the world. Even Tamil version is available, Hindi version is available, Urdu version is available, English version, original version is available. I advise you to buy that CD and see the movie. No teacher will tell you to watch and see some movie. I am telling you. Because imagination. Because there is a fear among the scientific truth I came to know. There is a fear among seismologists. Keeping that fact in view, based on that fact, there was a Hollywood movie which was released in 2015 on San Andreas fault. In case the San Andreas fault releases energy, how its devastating effect is going to be. Such imagination movie. Okay, I advise you to see that movie, buy CD and watch that movie. Then only you will understand the severity of that earthquake. So what are the damages that will happen, right? I already told you that the effects of earthquake. If such an earthquake happens, not only damages to the infrastructure buildings takes place, and also landslides, okay, tsunami, if any dam reservoir fails, flood, and industrial explosions, nuclear power plant explosion, thus leads to fire. Even short circuit, electric shock leads to fire, and any gas leakage, gas pipeline, harmless gas leakage, poisonous gas leakage, all such other calamity, other disaster also will happen along with it. That is why the earthquake is said to be ultimate disaster. Okay, that you keep it in mind. And now, these are the myths and legends prevail. Just for fun, I brought that one. Okay, this is San Andreas fault, the view of the San Andreas fault. Okay, some portion of it. This San Andreas fault view you can see in that movie. Right, coming, getting. So yeah, so out of the self-interest, I will show you some additional information also, along with whatever required. Let's see. San Andreas fault. This San Andreas fault is North America, Pacific Ocean. The San Andreas is there. Okay, it is moving like this. This Pacific plate is moving like this, while the North American plate is moving in the direction shown, arrow shown. So it's a transform boundary. That only keep it in mind. Okay, so this is another picture of the San Andreas fault out of the self-interest. Another important thing I want to say, I am going to cover in this unit this way, introduction. First I am going to tell you what is elastic rebound theory. It's elastic rebound theory. Next I am going to tell you about continental drift theory. Okay, and then plate tectonic theory. Then after I will tell you other elements of design like earthquake size, how to measure earthquake, how to size earthquake. For that, what is meant by intensity and magnitude of earthquake. Okay, that I am going to discuss with you. And then seismograph, the instrument used to measure earthquake, called seismograph. Okay, and then earthquake frequency and energy, I am going to give you some knowledge on that. And then the type, seismic waves, how the wave propagates, types of waves. Okay, those things I am going to discuss with you. And the interior of the earth. Okay, by discussing all this, I will be also telling the interior of the earth. And finally, the seismicity of India, seismic zone map of India, we are going to see. With this, the engineering seismology unit is going to be over. Okay, let us see one by one. Okay, this is the sun and earth for some other thing. Seismology. Now I have come to that one. What is meant by seismology? Seismology is the study of the generation, propagation, and recording of elastic waves. Okay, on the elastic waves in the earth and the sources that produce them. Seismology is the I advise you to copy down. What is seismology? Put the question and write down. Seismology is the study of the generation, propagation, and recording of elastic waves in the earth and the sources that produce them. Please listen. Earth tremor may not happen only due to earthquake. It may be natural cause. Natural cause, earthquake and volcano activities. They are called natural. Due to that, they are going to be tremor, ground motion, ground movement. Okay, ground motion will be there, tremor will be there. We call it as earthquake. Okay, it may be due to tectonic plate activity or volcanic activity. Okay, apart from that, there are artificial tremor. Okay, artificial reason, also artificial source of tremor, which are say blast, mine blast. Okay, industrial vibration. Even traffic vibration. If heavy traffic is there nearby locality, you are always getting ground motion, ground movement. Okay, so that also is another source. That is why seismology is the study of the generation and propagation and recording of elastic waves in the earth and the sources that produce them. Okay, the study of ground motion of earth at short time scales. That is not necessary. The sign paragraph, the sign statement. Okay, first statement is important. Copy down. Okay, I hope you have copied. Okay, I will go to the next slide. Shall I go to the slide? Yes. What is an earthquake? An earthquake is a sudden tremor. You know, you are all aware. Okay, it is a sudden tremor or movement of the earth's crust. Earth's crust. Okay, which originate naturally at or below the surface. Which originate naturally at or below the surface. Okay, sudden movement releases strain energy. Okay, that is not the first paragraph you write down. What is an earthquake? Could you please write down what is an earthquake? An earthquake is a sudden tremor or movement of the earth crust. Okay, which originate naturally at or below the surface. Copy down that one. Scientific is not important. Only first statement you take down, put the question and take down the first statement. Okay. Right? Okay, you copied. Good. Listen. I was asking you, how do earthquake occur? Okay, so there I told you earlier times there was a lot of religious belief about earthquake. The scientific reason was not unknown those days. Okay, well before the San Francisco earthquake, just before that, one scientist, not scientist, is a geophysicist. Reads REID''S. I will be projecting that I will note down. Reads elastic rebound theory was proposed. Okay, so he gave that theory, he proposed it. He said earthquake occurs due to the sudden release of gradually accumulated elastic strain energy of the fault. Okay, causes earthquakes. That's what he said. That is called elastic rebound theory. Elastic, okay, earthquake is due to sudden release of gradually accumulated elastic strain energy. Okay, released at fault causes ground motion, causes earthquake. That's what he said. Okay, that is due to rebound of rocks. Rocks are deformed. When the rocks penetrate the earth or in the deformed state. Okay, those deformed rock means strain energy is stored. That is stress, elastic stress is stored or elastic strain is stored in it. Okay, there is a fault available beneath the earth. In that fault line, due to the rupture of rock or slip of rocks, the rocks rebounds, the bent rock, the deformed rock rebounds. Okay, due to the when it rebounds, the gradually accumulated strain energy get released. That causes elastic waves, wavefronts. It goes on the earth. We call it as earthquake. Okay, that is the cause for scientific cause for the occurrence of earthquake. Only that alone is how this strain energy get accumulated, how it is getting accumulated, what is the precise cause for it, and all not known, not said clearly. The elastic rebound theory. After 96 San Francisco earthquake, what happened? The scientific community was started thinking about they started thinking about elastic rebound theory. How the energy getting accumulated? Why the rock supposed to bend? Okay, why it has to fault line that is stored, strain energy stored in the rocks, and all such questions they put themselves. During 1915, 1915, one Affler Wrangler, I will project his name later. I am not sure about his name. Affler Wrangler, 1915. What he has done, he observed the continent of our map, our globe, the continent of our earth, globe. And he was thinking why it has a specific boundary. Why do the continent have a boundary like this? Okay, so he cut the continent map. In the map, he cut the continent. Okay, and he tried for that puzzle kind of game. You might have played that puzzle game. You know what is puzzle? A picture is there that is cut into pieces and shuffled and you can match it. No. Likewise, he was trying. He found, he was astonished to see that there's a good match between the boundaries. And later he came to know, hypothetically, he concluded that, hypothetically said that, okay, his theory. Okay, so he called a conference, scientific people, geophysics conference. In that conference, he proposed his theory. Okay, the theory is known as continental drift theory. In his theory, he stated, long back, probably 250 million years back. What is meant by 1 million? 10 to the power of 6 years. 1 million year means 10 to the power of 6 years. 250 million years back. Okay, there was, all these continents were matching, the boundaries are matching. So they were one mass. They were one mass. Okay, Rajesh Shankar, don't talk, it's getting recorded. Okay, okay. Okay, matching. There was one supercontinent. There was one supercontinent. He named it as Pangea. All continents were one mass. It was a supercontinent. He named it as Pangea. Then, due to some cause, they have broken into two. They become two parts. Later, they further broken. They moved to two parts due to some cause in millions of years. And then the mass, the gigantic mass moved again further and occupied present position. Okay, that is, he named it as continental drift theory. The continents are moving, keep on moving. There is a drifting taking place. Minute drifting of continent taking place. Okay, most probably 50 million years back, there was one continent on the earth. He named it as Pangea, and all he said. No, the scientific community has not accepted his statement. He could not answer most of the fundamental questions fired at him, thrown at him by his critics. He was criticized like anything in that conference. He could not answer most of the fundamental scientific questions. See, how does such a gigantic mass can move? What force what caused them to move? What is the driving force? There must be some force, no? Such a gigantic mass, it's moving, no? To move such a gigantic mass, enormous force required. Okay, such a large force required. What caused them to move? Which force caused them to move? He could not answer. But only he said continental drift is taking place. Continents are moving, so they are trying to move. That's the tendency of moving. They are moving minutely. That statement he made, but he could not answer most of the fundamental questions put at him by his critics and by his critics. Okay, so he died during 1930. His theory was not accepted. 1930 he died. Okay, then research was going on. Geophysicist, now they named as seismologist because they started thinking about the earthquake. No, how do it occur? So they named themselves as, they were called now seismologist, here a geophysicist, geologist, so seismologist. Okay, they investigated, they carried out research. And during 1950, 1930 he died, somewhere around 1950, they realized, okay, there is a truth in the theory proposed by, the continental drift theory proposed by that gentleman. They realized. So the modified form of continental drift theory is known as plate tectonic theory. No one taken the credit, no scientist name. For plate tectonic theory, no scientist name assigned. It is nothing but the modified form of continental drift theory is known as plate tectonic theory. They realized the earth crust. Okay, beneath it, there is a earth crust is hard. If you go further below, there is the earth is in the liquid state, the viscous state. Okay, they named it earth. Below that, there are other seismologists. Okay, they investigated. Hypothetically, they said there is a discontinuity in the earth state. If you go inside, call it discontinuity theory. Okay, call it discontinuity theory. If there is a discontinuity, if you go hard, they named it as earth crust. Averaging 30 km, 0 to 50 km, known as earth crust. Below that, mantle. Okay, another one gentleman found a project. He named that portion as mantle. It's thousands of 4,000 kilometers almost mantle. Upper mantle and lower mantle. We also divided. Upper mantle is in like slightly semi-solid state. Lower mantle is in viscous state. And then core. Another gentleman, another geophysicist, hypothetically said there is a core in the earth core. In that he said outer core, inner core. Discontinuity, they are called discontinuity theory. Outer core is in liquid state. Inner core is in solid state, he said. They are called discontinuity theory. All development took place after 1950. 1950 only all such a discontinuity theory, tectonic plate theory and all said. I still have not told you about plate tectonic theory. Okay, I will come to that. Another gentleman who is a professor, present professor, whose name is Butler of University of Portland. He took another research. He compared because he said, no, earth core is in solid state, consists of iron and nickel. Iron and nickel consists of, he said. Okay, it is in solid state. That another professor, a present professor in University of Portland, Professor Butler, he compared earth with egg. That's the natural beauty. The earth, egg, you know, shell, no? Shell, crust. Earth also has crust, hard crust like that. And then the earth, yellow portion is there, no? That white portion. Likewise, there is a viscous liquid in the earth. Mantle, upper mantle, lower mantle, and outer core and all the viscous fluid, like a white portion of that earth, the egg. The egg, yellow portion is there, no? Which is hard inside. Okay, so likewise, the earth core is hard, consists of iron and nickel, mostly. So they compared. It's a beauty of nature. Okay, natural analysis or not. That's what he compared. This was his research. I will come to that later. So what the plate tectonic theory states, the earth crust, the earth surface is broken into several segments called plates, tectonic plates. The earth surface is broken into several segments called tectonic. Okay. Earth crust is broken into several segments called the plates, named as tectonic plates. Okay, the tectonic plates consisting of crust and upper mantle called lithosphere. This lithosphere, the earth surface, called lithosphere. The lithosphere is broken into several plates called tectonic plates, which are floating on astrosphere, which are viscous in nature. Lithosphere means crust and upper mantle. Astrosphere means lower mantle and outer core. They are viscous nature. This is floating, okay, on that. This is broken into several segments called the plates, tectonic plates. These tectonic plates are moving. Try to move because it's there are surrounding plates which is not allowing it to move freely. There is a constraint. Okay, that is why there is a tendency to move. It is constrained by the adjoining plates, but it is pushing. When it tends to move, some plate in this direction, some plate in this direction, some plate in this direction, and all, there are three kinds of boundary encountered. One is divergent boundary, another one is convergent boundary, another one is transform boundary. Some plates tends to move towards each other, convergent boundary, which is also called destructive boundary, because when it tends to move each other, sometimes ridge may be formed, hills, mountains. Sometimes one plate will go better than another. We call it a subduction zone. So the crust gets destroyed. That's what destructive boundary. Okay, so please all of you see here, when two plates tend to move towards each other, this plate will go better this. When it goes due to the friction, this plate will bend like this. Actually, this plate is there. This plate goes like this. This plate, when it goes, it bends like this. When the plate slips, that is called subduction. It pushes the water mass better than the sea, causes tsunami. I hope you will understand. One plate, two plates are converging, tends to move towards each other. One plate goes better, destroyed, get destroyed. While the other plate is at top low, due to the friction, this plate bends like this. Right? It bulges like this. Suddenly, the slip takes place. When the slip takes place, the water mass is pushed. That comes as tsunami. Such a frequent tsunami used to occur only in the Pacific Ocean earlier. The word tsunami is known only to the Japan people and those other countries like New Zealand, other North America, South Africa, those who are living in around this Pacific Ocean. The ring of fire. It's a familiar word to them. But now also we witnessed Sumatra had happened. Okay, that time the tectonic plate theory is said only the earth crust is broken into 7 major plates and several minor plates. 7 major plates only they said. Even the Indian and Australian plate, they said Indo-Australian plate. Only 7 plates. After this Sumatra earthquake, okay, they have realized Indian plate and Indo-Australian plate is broken into 2 plates. So there is a Indian plate is separate, Australian plate is separate. Like that they come concluded. After 2004 tsunami, the earth, now the seismologist says the earth consists of 12 major plates and several minor plates. Well before that, even during our Bhuj 2001, January 26, Gujarat earthquake, Bhuj, okay, that earthquake, the IIT Kanpur professor was there, his name is C.V.R. Murthy. Okay, that C.V.R. Murthy, to give knowledge to the public, he released the knowledge, whatever I am discussing with you, such a knowledge in a very simple language, a loose language, such that even the common public understand. The common public understandable way, he released certain earthquake tips, or earthquake tips. Total 24 tips he released that time. Further 6 more tips, now total 32 tips are available now. I will give you the soft copy of it, don't worry. I will give you the soft copy of it. It is available in the outreach source of that IIT Kanpur website. Later he became professor of IIT Chennai. He was working in IIT Chennai. Now he has gone as a director of IIT Bhagat. He has gone as a director of that another IIT now. Okay, that time he said in his tips he mentioned only 7 major plates, which was released during 2002. Earthquake took place 2001, 2002 he released the earthquake tips and then he mentioned only 7. After 2004 Sumatra earthquake, okay, now the earthquake revised. Now the earth consists of 12 major plates and 7 minor plates. Whatever I just told you, we are going to see in my PPTs, in my slides now. Okay, what causes ground motion? Sudden movement of air, right? So there are one natural source, another one is man-made source. Right now, natural source. Tectonic earthquake, volcanic earthquake. There are 2 kinds of earthquake. Tectonic plate activity, tectonic earthquake and volcanic earthquake. Man-made source. Please keep it in mind. Still I have not told you. 1 minute more. Getting recorded? No? Yes. Still I have not told you the force which caused the tectonic plate to move, the driving force. Still I have not told you about that. Okay, I will tell you shortly. Just you write down. Natural source, tectonic earthquake, volcanic earthquake. Okay, next one is what remind me. Right. Next, man-made resource. Man-made sources, nuclear explosions, mining blast, even industrial and traffic. Okay, when heavy traffic is there, it will be getting vibration. You have the industrial, you go to the industry, there are many machineries are operated low. Due to unbalanced mass of that machines, the vibration produced, machine-induced vibration, which are high-frequency vibrations. Okay, and mining blast. When nearby locality, when mine is there, blast happens. That causes the elastic waves in the ground. Okay, and nuclear explosion also causes earthquakes. The earthquake means tremor in the ground motions, causes the ground motion. Okay, that's also some man resource. Okay, like next, shall I go to the slide? I'm going to okay. Okay, let's write down. Let's elastic rebound theory. Still 1906, no one explained the theory properly. Okay. Gradual accumulation, release of stress and strain. That's what it is. Gradual accumulation, that's it. About it. In 1906, San Francisco, 96, don't write that, no properly, in 1906, San Francisco earthquake. Write down. In 1906, San Francisco earthquake. Gradual accumulation, release of stress and strain. I will tell you about the theory in the next class. Because next teacher should be coming. Okay, I will write up now. I will stop at this stage. Just to comment down. Okay, we will discuss. Already told you. We will see the theory later.